It started with a moment no one expected, a billionaire CEO collapsing on live television. Cameras rolled, people screamed, and within minutes the entire world knew, Evelyn Hart, the youngest and most powerful tech CEO in London, was fighting for her life. Doctors said there was nothing more they could do. But what no one knew was that a poor single dad, a man who could barely afford his next meal, would end up doing something so shocking, it would change both of their lives forever. Evelyn Hart had built an empire out of nothing. Her name stood for brilliance, perfection, and power. She had everything, money, fame, influence, except peace. The endless board meetings, sleepless nights, and fake smiles had taken their toll. For weeks, she'd ignored the dizzy spells, the chest tightness, the blurring vision. And that day, during her product launch, her body finally gave up. As her team rushed to her aid, cameras caught her pale face collapsing onto the stage floor. Within hours, every major news outlet in the world was broadcasting her critical condition, CEO Evelyn Hart in coma, doctors losing hope. Across the city, in a tiny, dimly lit apartment, Jack Turner, a single dad and former paramedic, watched the news with his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, curled up beside him. Jack had lost everything, his wife to illness, his job due to a false accusation, and his savings while trying to prove his innocence. Now he fixed broken appliances for neighbors just to put food on the table. But when he saw Evelyn on TV, pale, lifeless, surrounded by machines, something inside him stirred. Not pity, but recognition. He knew that look. The look of someone fighting to stay alive but too tired to win. He whispered, "They're treating her symptoms, not her soul." Lily looked up at him. "Daddy, can you help her?" Jack smiled faintly. "Sweetheart, people like us don't get near people like her." But that night, as he lay awake listening to the sound of the rain tapping against the window, an idea wouldn't leave him. He'd once studied a rare healing technique that combined touch and rhythm to restart dormant neural activity, something rejected by medical boards for being unorthodox. He'd never tried it on anyone since losing his license. Yet deep down, something told him that if he could just reach her, maybe he could do what machines couldn't. The next morning, he packed a small bag, wrote a note for Lily, "Be brave, I'll be back soon," and set out for St. George's Hospital. The hospital was swarming with press, bodyguards, and doctors. Getting in was impossible. Jack waited near the service entrance, cold and soaked from the rain, watching as nurses came and went. When one nurse dropped a tray of supplies, he rushed to help, picking everything up with gentle hands. She thanked him, noticing his worn paramedic badge still pinned to his old jacket. "You used to work in medicine?" she asked. "Used to," he said. "Before life happened." Something about his tone, humble yet sincere, made her pause. "You're not here for her, are you?" Jack nodded. "I think I can help." The nurse hesitated, then whispered, "Room 508. "But you didn't hear it from me." When he entered Evelyn's room, the steady beep of machines filled the air. She lay motionless, tubes and wires everywhere, her once vibrant face pale as paper. Jack stood still for a moment, overwhelmed by the quiet weight of it all. He touched her hand gently. It was cold. "Miss Hart," he whispered, "the world may have given up on you. But I won't." He began his work. Soft pressure on specific points, rhythmic pulses synchronized with her heartbeat, a pattern of breathing that connected his pulse to hers. For minutes, then hours, nothing changed. But just as he was about to give up, her eyelids flickered. Monitors started to beep irregularly. A nurse burst in, shouting, "What are you doing?" But before security could drag him out, Evelyn's finger moved. The nurse froze, eyes wide. Her brain activity, it spiking. Within days, Evelyn began to wake. The medical team called it a spontaneous recovery, something they couldn't explain. But Jack disappeared before anyone could question him. When Evelyn opened her eyes, the first thing she asked was, "Where's the man with the warm hands?" No one knew what she meant. But she remembered the rhythm. The touch. The voice that said, "I won't give up on you." Weeks later, during her recovery, Evelyn insisted on reviewing hospital footage. Hours of video, until she found it. The man who risked everything to save her. She tracked him down easily. Billionaires always find what they want. She found him in a broken apartment, helping Lily with her homework. He looked shocked when he saw her standing there, the woman whose face was on every magazine cover. "I came to thank you," she said softly. "You saved me." Jack smiled. "You saved yourself. I just reminded your body how to listen." Evelyn looked around his small apartment, peeling paint, broken heater, half-empty fridge. The man who healed her lived with nothing. "Why didn't you come forward?" she asked. "Because I didn't do it for credit. I did it because I could." Something in that answer hit her harder than any boardroom victory ever had. For the first time in years, she felt human again, humble, grateful, alive. Over the next few weeks, Evelyn helped Jack quietly. A job at her company's wellness division, a scholarship for Lily, a new place to live. But what shocked everyone most wasn't what she gave him, it was what she learned from him. At her next public speech, she said, "When you lose everything, you see what truly matters. And sometimes, the people the world overlooks, the ones with nothing, are the ones who know how to give the most." Jack stood in the crowd, holding Lily's hand, tears in his eyes as Evelyn's gaze met his. The woman the world thought was beyond saving had been brought back, not by money, not by medicine, but by a man with nothing left but faith, love, and courage. And that's how a poor single dad did what the world's best doctors couldn't. He gave her back her life, and in doing so, found his own again.